Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Vivek Anand. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the attacks. Okay, about the cyber attacks. So generally, we classify the attacks into two parts. That is the active attack and the passive attack. So active attack are those attacks in which we are directly engaging with the target, but in the passive attack we are not directly engaging with the target, but we are just sniffing the communication. Okay, so these are the classification of the attacks. So passive and the active. Passive attacks, then we divide according to the network and the host. So network passive attacks are the wiretapping, fiber tapping, traffic analysis. Okay, and the host passive attacks are the keystroke logging, backdoors, screen scraping. So these are the passive attacks. Active attacks on the networks are MITM, man in the middle attack, then flood, then ping of death, DOS and DDoS. So we will discuss in detail. Then the host active attacks are the buffer overflow. Okay, so passive attack, first we will discuss the passive attack. So passive attack is a network attack in which a system is monitored and sometimes is scanned for open ports and vulnerabilities. The purpose is solely to gain information about the target, and no data is changed on the target. So for example, if you remember in the uh, like in the if I am talking about the 10 years back, then we used to have the landline phone. Okay, even these days also we are having the landline phone, but on those days actually we used to have the BSNL landline phone, and sometimes what used to be happen, if call is coming to my phone number, then it might be possible that my neighbor is also listening to my communication. Okay, so how it's happening actually? Through the wiretapping, because if there is some cut in my wire, so any neighbor can connect the wire, and he or she can make the calls, or he or she even can take the calls. Okay, so simultaneously a neighbor can listen my communication. So that is the example of the wiretapping actually. Then next example is the traffic analysis. So if I'm sitting idle and I'm just analyzing the traffic, what A and B are communicating. Okay, so that is the example of the traffic analysis. Means I'm not changing any data, I'm not altering any data, but I'm just analyzing the traffic, what two parties are actually communicating. Okay, so that is a traffic analysis. Next is the dumpster diving. Actually, dumpster diving is a type of social engineering attack. So when we talk about the social engineering, it means we are manipulating the human behavior. Okay, for example, if somehow I am able to retrieve your password somehow. Okay, in any talks, if I say I am calling from this organization, and your password has been compromised, so you need to reset your password through me. Okay, so anyhow, I'm following any mechanism. So dumpster diving is the one of the social engineering mechanism. What we do sometimes, what happened, we write passwords and all the sometimes even critical information on some paper, and later when our work has been completed, so we dispose that paper in the dustbin. Okay, so what happened, any attacker or intruder might search your dustbin also, so that he or she can get some critical information through your bin. Okay, so that is a dumpster diving. Next thing is shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing is also a kind of social engineering attack. So shoulder surfing is, it's like you are putting your password in your laptop. Okay, you are sitting and you are accessing your laptop and you are putting the password on the facebook.com, but any colleague of yours who is watching you, okay, watching your screen and watching your keystrokes also, so he is just watching you what password you are putting in on the facebook.com. So this is like shoulder surfing, even in the ATM room. So that's why only one person is supposed to enter in the ATM room. If two person are entering into the ATM room, then other person might get your pin. Okay, so this is like shoulder surfing. So these are the passive attacks. Now let's discuss about the active attack. So active attack, in which any intruder or any interceptor try to alter the information in any way. Okay, this time actually intruder or attacker is directly engaging with the target. Okay, for example, man in the middle attack, okay, buffer overflow, DOS, DDoS, and password based attacks, password based attacks. So MITM is like very popular, man in the middle attack. So we will discuss. So this is the MITM actually. You can see victim. Okay, so there are like victim and victim, A and B. They are communicating with each other through the switch. In this diagram, you can see. Okay, but through the MAC flooding attack, what attacker can do? Attacker will flood the packets to the switch. So switch will forget everything. Switch will act as a hub now. Switch will forward the packet to the attacker also. Okay, so now what what attacker will do this time? Attacker will act as a switch. So every packet will passed through the attacker now. Whatever the victim A is transmitting to the victim B, attacker will receive the data first. He can alter the data, then he can transmit that altered data to the victim B. Then whenever victim B replies to the victim A, again this data will be received by the attacker first. Then attacker again can alter the data, then that altered data will be redirected to the victim A. So this is how man in the middle attack is happening. Okay, so practical example, you can do the MAC flooding. Okay, I'll demonstrate the MAC flooding in the upcoming lectures. Next is the DOS and the DDoS. So DOS and the DDoS are the very popular attacks. Even in the lockdown period, many DOS and DDoS attack has been happened. So it is like DOS attack. Basically, it is on attack on the availability. If you remember, we had discussed about the CIA triad. Okay, so confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. So DOS attack majorly is on availability because availability is disrupted. It means, for example, a bank. Okay, you are having some bank. Okay, definitely you are having some account in the particular bank. But if at a time more than 10,000 customer reached to the bank and they want to withdraw the money, then what will happen? Bank will not able to handle the customers, right? So in the same way, like banks services, what is the responsibility of bank? To provide the services to the customer. But due to the flooded packets or flooded customers, bank will not be able to handle the customers. So definitely bank will shut down or bank will close the doors of the main gate. Okay, so that's like services will not be available to any customer. Okay, what like they are authorized customer, they are having all the legal right to access the services provided by the bank, but still bank is not providing any services to the customer. So this is the practical example of the DOS. But here in the digital cyberspace, what is happening actually? Any attacker is flooding the packet to the particular target machine or target server, okay, or some host. So he is like making that network or host unusable, so that that server will not be able to provide any services. For example, my website is hosted on some server and any intruder is targeting that server, so definitely my website will be down, right? So DOS attack is used to disrupt services. It is very difficult to or impossible to locate source because what happened actually, they use zombies or what we call bot. Okay, so they created network of the bot, we call it as a botnet. Okay, so then command and control center is also there. They establish a CNC, command and control center. Then attacker operate everything through the CNC, command and control center, so that he can give the instruction to all the bots. Okay, sometimes you like many people even say like my phone or my laptop is not having any data, so if any hacker will try to gain access to my system, then he will not get anything. Okay, so don't do this, because if any hacker will get access to your laptop or through, to your phone, then it might be possible that he is not stealing any data from your phone or laptop, but he can use your laptop or your phone as the bot. Okay, so at the later stages, through the CNC, command and control center, any attacker can use your phone or your laptop to perform the DOS attack. It means whenever logs will be checked, then there would be the entry of your phone or your laptop. Okay, it means it is just like you are performing some attack. Okay, but actually you are not doing. Attacker is doing, intruder is doing, but through your phone, right? So that's why you are supposed to update all the apps in your phone and update the operating system on the laptop or desktop. So major example of the DOS attacks are the like Amazon Web Services. It was down in the Feb 2020. It is the latest example of the DDoS. The packets flooding rate. Now you may focus. The packet flooding rate was 2.3 terabyte per second. It was a very heavy traffic. Okay, sent to the AWS, and AWS server was almost down for more than 16 hours. Can you imagine? AWS server was down for more than 16 hours in the Feb 2020. So it was like a very huge DDoS attack. Next example is the Mirai OVH botnet attack. So it was attack on the IoT devices, all the CCTV cameras and all the internet enabled devices has been hacked. Okay, and actually they were down for a period of the time. It happened in the September 2016. And the third major attack is the like 6 US banks were targeted by a wave of DDoS attack. Even you can see the name of the banks: Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, US Bank, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and PNC Bank. Even these banks are very well known. And this attack happened in the March 12, 2012. Okay, so on this, when these banks were targeted by a wave of DDoS attack, almost 1.13 terabytes per second was the traffic rate. This traffic rate, definitely bank server were not able to handle this much of data. Okay, so they were disrupted. So services were disrupted for a long time. So these are the examples of the DOS and the DDoS even. So next major thing is buffer overflow. So buffer overflow, it happened like when a programmer does not check to make sure the data it is putting into a space will actually fit into that space. Now for example, you are having 3 boxes. Okay, in the first boxes, first instruction is executing, then there is nothing in the second box, but in the third box a third instruction is executing. So sometimes when any programmer is writing a code, so he is leaving second box blank. Okay, unintentionally, he is not knowing the consequences. Actually, he is a very beginner in programming, so he is leaving the second box as blank. What intruder will do, he will copy his code to the second box, and whenever first instruction will be executed, instruction will jump into the second block, then second instruction or second instruction stored in the second block will be executed. Okay, that instruction was stored by the attacker, right? So definitely attacker will gain access through that particular block. So that is called buffer overflow actually, right? So like how you can mitigate that, definitely whenever you are writing the code for particular some application, you need to keep in mind that you should not put any space that attacker can use. Okay, attacker can put some code there, so you should not do this. So example of the buffer overflow, Microsoft IaaS 5.0 server. Okay, you remember if you run the local host even, you enable the Microsoft IaaS server. So a vulnerability exists in Microsoft IaaS 5.0 even running on Windows 2000 that allows a remote intruder to run arbitrary code on the victim machine, allowing them to gain complete administrative control of the machine. So this is the example, like even Microsoft was having vulnerability, but these days it is mitigated now. Okay, earlier it was in the Windows 2000. Then next vulnerabilities of the buffer overflow is Apache. So Apache is also a server, Apache HTTP server version 1.3.19. So could allow a remote attacker to send an HTTP request to cause the server to crash with unexpected behavior. So you can see these are the latest example. Okay, so of the buffer flow. So what are the network defenses now? So till now we have discussed the active attack and the passive attack, then the different type of active and passive attacks. So how like you can mitigate all these attacks? Although 100% mitigation is not possible, but still what you can do, you can put some devices like firewall. Firewall is a packet filtering device. Then DMZ, demilitarized zone, generally Financial organization uses this demilitarized zone. Okay, it means you are just isolating your main server. Then the air gap, then even you use the load balancers also, IDS, IPS, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, VPN, so that you can encrypt your communication. Whatever the data you are sending, the data should be encrypted. SSL encryption, okay, secure socket layer encryption. Then IDS, honeypots, burglar alarms, vulnerabilities scanners, okay, email filters, then SMIME encryption. So these are the network defenses even. So vulnerabilities scanner are one of them. You should check your system for vulnerability scan time to time. Even I have explained the vulnerability scanners, OpenVAS and Nessus, in my videos. You can refer to those videos even. So in this lecture we have discussed the active and the passive active attacks and the passive attack and the network defenses. Please put your question in the chat box. If you have any question, you can put your question in the chat box. Please provide your feedback also. Thank you everyone.